know what did I use my money for? And by that, do you have a surplus, or you're one person, once you know that there's an upkeep that will be sent to you, you don't care how you use the money. Once it is finished, you send in a text or a WhatsApp, or you call your dad or mom that my money is finished, so I need more. So spending is very key, and it is a pillar in a financial wellness person. Somebody who would want to be prudent in financial must have a spending plan, what we call a budget. Then the fourth thing that I'm going to discuss this morning is about savings, in that we need to start learning what are those tidbits, what are the saving, how do people save, how do you start? Young men, friends, I want to say that, excuse me. Sorry for that. I want to say that savings must start early. It is a habit that we must all inculcate in our lives. Today is going to be about how now do we start doing it if we've not been doing it. What are the areas to look at? How does it become a habit? Because even if you read people who've been billionaires and millionaires, you'll find that they started it as a habit as young. Somebody like Warren Buffett started thinking of savings at the age of 8. Here we are in our teens and in our 20s, and yet even savings is just a very far-fetched goal. So that's the reason why we are here, so that we can start as young as we are, so that when people are struggling, you are not struggling. Basically, you can be on your feet. It will need a lot of engaging your brain and the right side of your brain to be able to do the right thing, so that the habits become your behaviors, and once they become behaviors, then they become your personality, and it becomes a character. And once it becomes a character, then that's what we'll be seeing in you, even in your adult life. Then the last point will basically, I'll open it up for question and answer, so that we are all at peace, and I can be able to know what are disturbing you in all those areas that we've discussed. So friends, welcome aboard once again. I think this is going to be a 2-hour good conversation about money and about our financial literacy. As I said, as Octagon, we are the first, and will not stop in ensuring that this money conversation becomes an annual thing for young men and women who want to have a brighter future. You know, there's an African proverb that states that the future belongs to those who prepare us today. So don't look at yourself from the age perspective, but look at yourself from what you can do with whatever kind of resources that comes your way. So this being the first from Octagon Africa, welcome on board once again, and I believe that it's going to be a good ride. So quickly, just an introduction to what financial literacy means and what it means to me and Octagon Africa as such. Young men and women, friends, financial literacy is the possession of set of skills and knowledge. And you can see I've underlined possession of set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all their financial resources. If you're financially literate, it means that you have the life skills and the know-how on how to make informed and effective decisions with all your financial resources. When we talk about financial resources, you know, many a times as young people, we only think that resources belongs to the old. No, not to our parents only. Your resources begins the moment you are given birth to. Can you imagine? I believe most of us tuned in, we were given birth, our mothers, our parents, our mothers, they gave birth to us in hospitals. And depending on the hospital they gave birth to, whether it was cesarean, whether it is normal birth, it had a cost. So being financial literate, it means that you possess those skills and the know-how on how to use your pocket money, on how to use your upkeep, on how to be able to start looking at how do you add on the little that you're given by your parents. that's where that's where we are coming from as Octagon Africa, and we want to engage you as early as now, so that you also become resourceful to tell your parents and be able to discuss matters money on that table. Understanding basic financial concepts allow people to navigate in financial system. We all live in this world, and as you are all aware, since 2020, Corona has visited us. And I believe that you've seen it affect our parents, affect our guardians, affect our siblings in one way or the other. So having financial literacy knowledge, it means that you'll be able to navigate through the financial system. When we talk about system, these are the banks, the saving areas. Where do money come from? How do you save it? Where do you save it on? And all those kind of stuff. So a system, you know, it is a holistic way of looking at how money revolves through the economy. Yeah. So do you understand those systems, and how best do you use what you know? And research and many papers have shown that people with appropriate financial literacy training make better financial decisions and manage money better than those without training. So you are at the right place at the right time, and I believe and hope that you'll engage your brain positively as we talk about money, and as we look about financial literacy as a whole. And as I mentioned, this is we are the first, and we'll continue to do this, so that when we meet next time, basically you're just looking at the areas that you had worked on, what is working, what is not working, and what do you need to tune so that it becomes better. Remember, financial literacy is all about money management. And if you don't know that from your younger age, then it becomes a problem in your adult life. And we are going to see that much as we go through this training. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. You are in the right place at the right time, because we need you to possess the right skills. We need you to have the knowledge, and you be the person who can effectively use your financial resources. And most of all, the bottom line is, are you able to manage the small monies that you're currently passing through your hands as a student, as a young person who is in college, so that you become a better person? Now, friends, allow me to talk about certain financial behaviors, because these are the things that we've seen with our adult brothers, our brothers and sisters, your parents, in that there are certain financial behaviors that that crop up in adulthood that are anchored on three things, and how better it is to discuss it at this young stage, because certain financial behaviors manifestation is as a result of how we were brought up, the culture that we were brought up in. And I believe you also, as you listen to me, there's already a culture that you are brought up in. If you are with your parents, and they never discuss money issues, it is only the two of them who discuss, and for you is just to receive what you've asked, either less or more, then it means that there's a way you've been seeing them. And as these psychologists always say, that monkey see, monkey do. Remember, you are at that stage, formation stage, where what you see your parents do will culminate, will actually manifest in your life in the near future. So culture, the way things are done at home, will definitely manifest in your adult life. And these are now the narrative that we need to start demystifying, so that if you think that the culture that is already existing in your home is not the right one, that will not make you associate with money well, monies are not discussed openly, then you need to start looking at how to change that, and start asking your parents to be involved in matters money, especially so when it involves your schooling. Remember this, that as you school, where you go to school, your parents take you to school, the fees they pay, they'll want to see a return on it. And the return on it is not for you to pay them, but in that you are doing your best to get the best grade. So if you're in, let's say in a secondary school, then you are actually working on your grade, so that when you graduate from your secondary high school period, then you have the best grade to take you to the best college, which will also be funded with money. And that college, basically, you start building your career, and you get into a career or a profession that will pay you when you check out of the college period. So the culture definitely is one way that will affect your financial behaviors in your adulthood. And I want you to start checking and interrogate how your parents behave in terms of how they discuss money issues, so that you can be part and parcel of the conversation. Because culture also affects the stereotypes. The key thing is that stereotypes are things that they're just myths. They're things that people believe they are and they are not. Where there are people who say, in our culture we are business people. In our culture we are just consumers. In our culture, no, there's nothing like that. Culture can be changed, and how best it can be at this young stage. The other thing that will affect your financial behavior in your adulthood, if you don't take care now at this moment, is environment that we are brought up. I understand that all of us, we don't come from the same environment. When I say environment, it means that where you stay, where you are brought up, is it the leafy suburbs? Is it just the normal estate that there could be, or is it just the law of the law? So the environment has a way of affecting how we behave when we start actually generating money. So it is important that we understand how is our environment, and how that do we change. So when I talk of an environment, when you are in school, associate with people who understand how to use money, people who respect money for that matter. Don't associate with friends who their role is that every week is to buy stuff. At the end of it all, they have nothing to talk about. So you can change your environment. Depending on the kind of family setup that you are in, the key thing is you just need to visit your environment and look at, is it helping you progress? Are you associating with people who can actually teach you to be a saver? People can teach you to have good attitude towards money, and we'll be talking about that. Then the last item on financial behaviors that might affect our financial behaviors in adulthood is role models. Many a times, if we fail to get it from our parents, because I can talk, I being a parent, having been brought up by parents, and I know how they used to approach money issues. Many a times we don't pick we don't have role models. A role model, and I want to give you an exercise, is that after this training, you need to look for a person that you want to aspire to be, the person that you look towards upon to, somebody who is well endowed, he's rich, he's got wealth, somebody that you can say, I want to be like that person, and now start monitoring them and speaking to them on how they made it in life. With that, it will give you, as young as you are now, a way to be able to actually expound your thinking about money. So identify a role model, talk to them, watch over them, monitor them, and please try to engage them as much as possible so that they can start giving you tidbits on how they made it in life. The key thing is, without role models, then we become just illusionary. You must be looking to somebody who actually has a lot of interest and you like them so much. So write their name and say that this is the person that I want to monitor, to be my role model, somebody that I look up to, so that you become that person. And that you'll find yourself behaving in the right way, especially so when it becomes to money matters. So one thing that I want to leave you with is that don't buy a lifestyle with your pocket money. What do I say, and what do I mean by this? As a young person, as a young man, a young woman, the key thing is that you still have a long life ahead of you. Yeah, you have a long life to make mistakes. But the key thing is that your mistakes, you should be learning from them. So the pocket money that you receive, I'll want to know at the end of every term or at the end of every semester, do you always have a surplus, and where do you take that surplus? And if your behavior has been that at the end of the semester or at the end of the term, you cannot even tell what remained, you even ask for more, then there must be a problem. And those are the kind of behaviors that we think that as young as you are, you need to start looking at, because you know yourself. So friends, on financial behaviors, remember this. Number one, what kind of culture are you in? And I say that cultures can be changed so that you become part and parcel of the discussions about money. Look at your environment. Where have you grown? Are you surrounding yourself with people who talk about money, savings, people who know about money? Or are you one of those young man or woman whose role is just to buy, nothing else to save and all that kind? Then the last thing on financial behaviors, I say, please, after this training and before, it could be one of your New Year's resolution, is that could you identify a role model, somebody you look up to, and you can start monitoring them, and you sit with them down at your free time when you are on a recess or on holiday, so that you can start asking them, how do they do it, and can you learn from them? If it is your brother, if it is your one of your parents, so be it. But the key thing is you need to be a totally perfect, because we are not perfect, but to be totally responsible young man and a responsible adult, you need to have role models with you. So with that, friends, it brings me to the first item of our discussion today, which is, what is money? And I believe and hope that you all have interacted with money. I've just mentioned this in that it started the moment you were born. Can you imagine? When you were born, money started being discussed. Where your mother gave birth to you, with the hospital, the bill they paid, the kind of house that you are living in, it was all about money. And that's the reason I feel that this money discussion should start immediately. You are being breastfed, so that you know that money, what is it all about? So let me start with the untruth about money. Friends, I know that there has been so much hype, talks, bad things, good things, talk about money. But what is your story about money as you listen to me this morning? What is your story about money? So let me start with the untruths about money. You know, adults have peddled a lot of myths and myths, half truths and truths. And one of the things is that money is for adults. That's not true. Money is for all of us, however how young. Because if you are in a boarding school, it means definitely there will be pocket money that will be left at the bursar's office for your use. Who determines how much is left? I'm just asking, who determines how much is left? Now, this is a conversation that we must all be involved in. Remember, and as somebody who is now talking about money, I've actually ensured that my children knows that you must give me a budget. You must basically tell me what you need money for. Because there are certain schools that, in actual sense, they don't need you to leave pocket money for the children. So long as you've bought the essentials, then it means that they have food, so there's no need to leave money. And yet there are schools that you find that your parents actually leave money. And in essence, sometimes you don't even know what for, or you don't need that money. So money is not just an adult affair conversation. It must start from you. It is you who knows how much you require. What will you need money for? If I leave the money at the bursar's office, what will it be for? Is it that you are skiving, or you don't want to eat the school's food? You just need some money to feel good? What if the money that you are left with, you could now, having gone through this program, then you could have started saving aside so that you become a better person? So one of the untruths has been that money is for adults. And I think adults, we've done a disservice to you people not to discuss it in a way that it's supposed to be. And I believe that from this, then when we start engaging you as young men and women, then it will become a conversation on the table. Number two untruth is you should know about money, because it's what makes things move. If you want a present, it is money that buys that present. You, as a young man or woman, you just need to know what kind of a present and how much did it cost. Sometimes as parents, we don't disclose, but it is wrong. There's no need for me to buy a present which is so expensive, but I'll not be able to afford to pay your school fees the next term. Now, those are the things that need to be discussed in open so that we all are aware on what is the cost of doing what we are doing. So as a child, as a young man or woman, please never be told that children should not know about money. You should know even more better so that you become better than your parents. Let me just tell you for a fact that the mistakes they are doing currently, it is because their parents did not want to discuss money issues around them. So we find ourselves doing mistakes that if we knew, and I congratulate your parents for registering you for this program, so that if you knew, you could have actually saved the situation. Another myth is that money is the source of all evil. That is wrong. The good book, that is the Bible, says that the love of money is the source of all evils. Money cannot be a source of all evils. And we are going to talk too much about something about it. Money is not the source of evil. It is the love of it. So as a young man or woman, the key thing is, yes, we need to have money, but the too much love of money is what causes all these problems. That's where you'll find that parents never used to leave money just lying idle, because they know that if you know where the money is, one thing as a child, let me take as a young person, what you see is just something to buy. If it is sweets, if it is biscuits, something that you can just consume. No wonder our parents never used to leave any coins on top of tables, because what you'll just see is to consume, but not to save. But if you know the value of money as young as you are, you'll not touch it, because you know that 10 shillings or $100 or $10, it has been left there for a purpose and it has value. Then you'll not actually run to do the unnecessary things. So my message to all of us this morning is that money is good and it is not a source of evil, the love of it. So don't be a lover of money. The key thing is, how do you respect and value money in your own way as a young man or woman, so that you can do what is required with it, not something that is not expected. Be respectful, be disciplined when it comes to matters money, so that no misuse, no regrets, and you know exactly what money is supposed to do. Don't let your parents hide money issues from you, because the moment they hide it, it means that they are not exposing you to the values and the good things that money will actually do in your life. So let it become a discussion. Let's not be so much lovers of money, because money creates personalities. And these personalities are that there are people who love money so much to an extent they start worshiping it. That is wrong. And there are people who love money so much so that it becomes their status, the way of their living. So you'll find that what they do is to show off rather than showing up when they are called for work. So can you be that person who can not to live on a showbiz, but to show up when you are called upon to look for money? So money is not a source of evil. It is the love of it that becomes evil. Then the other myths, this is just among other many, is that money is discussed in secret. Yes. And I think this has started with our parents and their parents and their parents like that. So it has been something that has been ongoing for a very long time. No wonder we find that after you've worked so hard in high school, you've gone to university, college, after that, because monies were always discussed in secret. The moment you land that job, the dream job that you have, even to your best friends, you don't want even to share how much you earn. So it is a secret that is kept under lock and key, which has made money to be something that instead of helping us to move to the level that we could move, then it become a depressor and source of depression. So for so many people. So money will only help us And as young people, friends, please, money should not be discussed in secret, especially with those that you love so much. They need to know how much are you generating, how much pocket money do you get. I was in a discussion one of the colleges where I always just give some talks on on money issues, and I came to realize that as young people, sometimes because we don't understand money that much, we ask for more than what we deserve. And the moment that you know that the money will come, you'll call your dad, you'll call your mom, you'll call your sibling, and they'll actually wire you money. Then you misuse a lot. So there's this young lady who, after when we were just talking about budget, I came to realize that there's a lot of wastage that she was doing on a weekly basis because she had more, and her her point of recourse was that every week my dad will send me this amount of money, and we're going to discuss that when we come to matters budgeting. So money has so much untruth. Number one, money is for adults. That is wrong. Money is for all of us, and it is a discussion that you as a young person must be involved in. And after this, we need to actually now engage our parents so that we can be helpful in how money issues is discussed. Number two, children should not know about money. You should know about money, and I can tell you for a fact that you should know how much your parents are actually toiling to put you through college, to put you through high school. I've given my children a challenge that because you are the one who is always given, when I pay school fees, you're the one who is given a receipt. I need a tabulation of all the monies that I've spent on you since from 1 up to Form 4 or class 1 up to class 8, so that you could see, are you as a young person, what do we expect? Is that we expect value. And what is that value? The value is that what kind of grade will you come out with in your level of education so that you can become a better person? I say that money is the source of all evil. That is a myth. It is not. It is the love of money that becomes the source of evil. And please, I said money brings out personalities. The moment you start loving money so much, then you start worshiping money, which is ungodly. Number two, the moment you become a lover of money, you now become somebody who wants to show your status, a status personality, where you can show the bling bling, everything, new shoes, new wardrobe, and all those kind of stuff. And lastly, money should not be discussed in secret. And I've just mentioned this could have been the problem where our parents and their parents and their parents' parents, up to our forefathers, have done a mistake where they discuss money issue in a secret way without bringing us on board. And we always think that money should be discussed in secret, and you pick it up from them. Remember, I said, monkey see, monkey do. What you see your parents, your siblings do is what you could adopt, because you are at the formative stage of your life. And before you know it, you are an adult, you have children whom you never discuss money with, and it becomes a problem. So let's go out to the truths of money. Ian Rand said that money is just a tool. What did he mean? A tool is a means to get what basically you want or need. So money is just a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. What does that mean in a layman's language? What it means is that when you see money, know that that money can solve so many problems. It can solve, it gives solutions to your problems. But in itself, it is not an end to itself. So you use money to solve problems. As we go back to school next week, our school fees need to be cleared. So it is money that your parent will use to let you not be chased out of school. It is money that will be given to you to ensure that you actually get to the school, or you will be dropped. So if you are one person who need fare, then you need to know, where am I going? What time do I need to leave the house so that there's no jam, so that I use, at least, instead of using, let's say, Kenya shillings 1,000, I can use 700. So money is just a tool. It is a means to achieving what your needs and wants are. Those people who now make money control them, then money becomes their driver. But in essence, as a young person, young men, young women, let me tell you for a fact, you need to be the driver of your life. And that, you know that you have money. It is that you are not earning it to you, but how do you use it as a tool to give you what you need and what you want? That's truth number one. Truth number two, money is a good servant, but a very bad master. Friends, this has been said time immemorial. Money is a good servant, but a very bad master. So your role as a young person who is growing up, who wants to a better life tomorrow, you must master the rules of the game. You must master the money. Let not money master you. As I said, because money issues were never discussed with us from our parents. They were very secret. You find yourself getting to start to know how money works in your adult life. And by that time, you've made a lot of mistakes, sometimes that are so regrettable. So that's the reason why we are here, so that these truths can actually sink into you and you know that money is a very good servant. Because if you master the money well, you know when to save, you know how you spend, you know where the money is going and whom you spend it with, then it will become your servant in your adult life and even up to retirement. It means you'll save a lot for your retirement. You'll be able to live within your means. You'll be able to have friends who can actually understand you and who can speak your language. Then money becomes a very good servant. And especially so in your adult life. I've seen so many colleagues, so many people suffer because they've actually embraced money in a bad way that they don't master the money. And that's the reason why we're here. Truth number three is money is a byproduct of exchange. What does that mean? You know, money is the source. It is a source of exchange. If you need a loaf of bread today, you use money to get it. For you to go to school for a better grade, your parents will move you from one school to the other. It is a byproduct of that exchange. We want a better grade, so we move you from this school to another school so that you can get a better grade. And from that better grade, you go to a high-end college. So from that high-end college, we are building your career so that you can actually be employed in a high net worth job so that your life can be better. So money is a byproduct of exchange. What are you exchanging it for? You're in school, know that you are exchanging money for grades. So I can urge all of us that you must actually work tirelessly to ensure that you actually give a good grade for your parents, and not even your parents, for yourself, because they've actually made it their role to ensure that they look for that money to put you through school, through college. So just know that money is a byproduct of exchange. So the moment, like in Kenya, what has been happening where schools have been burning, it means we as students or as young people, we are not doing the right thing. It means we are escalating the bill, the school fees bill for our parents. Unfortunately, the bad people who are doing that, they actually load it on all the parents. And remember, it is the cost of you are going to school that will escalate, will be higher than the rest of the schools that are never banned. So can we be a disciplined people? Can we be a people who actually know we are in school because it is a byproduct of money? So anything you do wrong, it means it is affecting your earning in the very near future. So the truth is money is a byproduct of exchange. It is only money that will make you get a better life. It is only money that will make you get a good grade. It is only money that will actually make you get a good job. So the moment we understand that it is a product of a byproduct of exchange, then we'll be very disciplined and we'll want to know how was the money used. So I can challenge you this morning that as you go out there, as we go back to school, as we go back to our normal activities after the festive season, we must always be asking ourselves, how much is it costing my parents to basically put me through this school? What is it that am I supposed to be exchanging with the money that they are giving to school and to the college to be a better person? And the truth is that we must understand the rules of the game. I believe that many of us, we love football. And I'll want to give that analogy that if you don't understand the rules of money, then you'll never get to the level that you want to go into. And those rules of money will become in terms of savings and budgeting. Is that in any game you are in, and I like what Tony Robinson mentioned about the rules of the game, you must understand it, is that you must understand that if you want money, then you are in a game. And in any game that you are in, you are there to win, not to lose. So as we'll be taking you through the savings, what kind of savings and how you budget, those are the rules of the game that you must understand with money. Because if you drop that, then you are just as good as nothing. Not in a bad way, but money, you must understand its rules because it is a game of win or lose. We are doing this as Octagon Africa because we want to raise up a population, a people who will be able to be great in their own right at the time of their calling. A people who will actually look back and say, I did the right thing. This training on 29th of December actually changed my mind completely because now I understand the rules of the game. So do you understand the rules of the game? The money game is a game of win, not lose, but in a better disciplined way. When I say win, it means that it's not by all means, but how better can you be as a person? So, friends, young men and women, you've now known the truths and the untruths about money. The moment we are all aware that money is a game and you must understand the rule of it, then we become better and better people in the very near future. So with that, I come to the second component of what I was to discuss this morning, and it is about spending or budgeting. If I may ask, I don't want an answer, but I know you guys, you are entitled to upkeeps, you are entitled to pocket money, and any kind of resources that you get from your parents or siblings for that matter, or guardian. How many of us, saying the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, always have a spending plan, and at the end of the month or at the end of the term can be able to actually see that I got this much from my dad, I got this much from my mom, I got this much from my elder sibling, and at the end of the term, I have a surplus of this much, and now I'm just looking at where to put the money. How many of us do that? I'm asking that because if I'd been given this information a long time ago, I always say that I could have been very far. I could have started saving long time ago, as young as in primary or in secondary school. But because money issues were discussed in secret, number two, they never used to come the way you thought. So we become adults. That's now the time you start now making mistakes with money. So if you want to understand the rules of the game, one of the rules of the game of money is you must have a spending plan. So as we prepare to usher in the new year, I know the level of preparedness depends on your parents and also sometimes yourself. The key thing is, are you ready? Do you know where you are going to spend where you are going to cross over, with whom, how much is it going to cost, who is going to fund it, and what will be the end of it all? And as we usher in the new year and now go back to school from next week, especially in Kenya, and I don't know about Uganda and Zambia, the key question is, how much pocket money? What do you need? Have you already submitted that to your parents? Have they looked at it? How much pocket money do you really want? Because as I mentioned, one thing that I come to realize that as a young person, sometimes we ask for more, but it is just to feel good that we have money. Rules of the game of money, it is not about to feel good. It is, what did the money use? What was the money for? What is it for? And can you learn now to start saving from the little budget that you have? So, friends, if you want to know about spending, this is not a jargon. There's what we call cash flow management. A cash flow management is a way or a system on how you recognize that there will be money that will be coming in. Like I've mentioned, for those of us who are now preparing to usher in to cross over from 2021 to 2022, on 31st, that will be on a Friday. Already I know that we have laid down plans depending on where you want to go to cross over. And if you don't have the funds already, you are seeking for those funds. So already that's a cash flow that you anticipate from your parents, from your siblings, and whoever who will fund that project. Or there are those already who had money that they saved during this period before the festive season, and they have enough basically to go now share with friends. Those are cash flow recognition. It means that you already know where your cash will be coming from to be able to do what you want to do during the crossover period from 2021 to 2022 and into the future. Once you know where the money will come from, it is just like rain, that when you see the cloud forming, then you anticipate that it will rain. The magnitude of rain will depend on the density of the cloud. That is just an analogy. So also for you as a young man, young lady, the key thing is, what is the magnitude? How much do you expect from your parents, your siblings, to be able to basically have your cash flow come in, to be able to manage your stuff? The moment that cash comes in, then it will start flowing out. You open that tap. And now that is what it is called. You must now track. If I open this tap, how long will the money take me? Will it be sufficient to take me throughout the semester or the term? Or if not, then it means by mid-term or by middle of the month or middle of the term, I'll be able to call my parents so that they can add more. So in budgeting, you must know where the cash is coming from. And for you, for now, your cash is coming from your parents through pocket money and upkeeps. You could also be seeking from your elderly siblings. And I know what you are using, what you only need is from your parents. Then it means the money that you get from your siblings, you don't use it, you misuse it. And that's where now we are here, so that we stop misusing. So if you are blessed to have more than one source, where your father gives you money, your mother gives you money, your siblings also give you money, then you need to understand how much out of all those three sources, in reality, because money is about being real, in reality, how much do I need to take me through the semester or take me through the term? Once you identify in totality and with finality how much you need, then it means you could be having a surplus, which if you just keep, then you'll misuse. Then now you can start saving that amount to help you in the near future. I hope I'm very clear with that. So I've said that we must understand where the money will come from, what we call cash in or cash flow. And once we understand where it comes from, then we draw a budget, we draw a spending plan and ask yourself, I'll be in school for the next 3 months. If you're a candidate, like in Kenya, for those who are sitting KCPE, by 9th or 10th of March, you'll be done. If you are sitting for your KCSE, by April, you'll be done. So you need to determine how long will you be in school, how much do you require, and if you have more than 3 sources of income, then it means you could be having a surplus. I know and I can predict that those who are sitting for their final exams, they are looking forward to having parties. Please fund that party from other sources again. Don't fund it with, you can save for it, yes, but I want us to inculcate the culture of saving so that we don't misuse the money. I've seen parents, I've seen students splash a lot of money in parties, money that you could have actually only used 50% of it, and the other 50 you start saving for your retirement, and you can start saving in a circle that will help you. You'll be ahead of the pack when people come to realize, okay, the issue of saving, I could have started it a long time ago. I'm not saying you should not celebrate, no, but we overdo it many a times. Plus even our parents. So determine your cash flow, determine what will come in, and draw a small budget to know how will you use it. When it rains, please just make sure that you also save something for the drought season. Because one thing that I can tell you, friends, young ladies, young men, is that money is very limited. Once you're done with your schooling, you'll come to know that those wastage are no longer there. Because you'll not be seeking for pocket money anymore. You'll be at home. Unless again you start another level or another thing that you'll want your parents to support you with. And many a times you find that there are families that you are so many to an extent, they're just looking forward to you sitting for your final exam. And now they tell you you are on your own. So can we start learning to save something small now so that when the dry spell will come in the very near future, at least you have something that you can rely on as you start either tammacking, looking for a job, or you wait to join college, depending on the phase of life you are in or the phase of schooling you are in. So money is very limited. It is not unlimited. So don't just open your taps thinking that everything will be okay tomorrow. As I mentioned to you early at the beginning, in that we all live in this world since March last year. We've seen so many changes in so many households because our siblings have either they've lost jobs, or our parents have lost jobs, or they've retired prematurely. So we find ourselves struggling. Could you imagine if you had this information, and because you used to get a lot of pocket money and you used to save something at least into your personal savings account, then now you become you rescue even the family in terms of other needs like food and anything else. So we need to be very prudent when it comes to money matters. So budgeting, having a spending plan is a must going forward. And I'll want you to take it a notch higher with your parents, where you can sit down and tell them, Dad, Mom, this is what I need. That, remember, there are needs and wants. This, first of all, work on your needs. What are your needs? You know, things that you cannot do without. Already there's food in school. So over and above that food, what else will you require to sustain you to be a better person so that you can produce the best grade? Those are now the needs. Anything else is just a want. So instead of budgeting for a want, If you are given excess, if you are lucky that your parents can give you more than, if you request for 1,000, they give you 1,500. Just make sure that a 500 is saved, not used, not consumed in any one way or the other. Because I know they are very good parents. They even don't ask. You ask them, you tell them, Dad, I need 3K. They send you 5K. Very good and very bad at the same time. So I don't know what has been your money story, but the key thing is, so long as you know your budget and you know very well that you need 1,000, you need 2,000 to take you through a semester, any excess amount, you should set it aside for the rainy day that you'll not be able to get those kind of upkeep from our parents. So in budgeting, number one, life lesson 101, please live within your means and save from the start. How a better way to start as young as you are? Depending on your age, if you are at the age where you can open a savings account, please, I urge you to open a savings account, a personal savings account, so that you start dropping the excess change into that savings account. If you are not at the age where you have a savings, you can open a bank account, please buy a piggy bank and make sure you are not the one who has the keys. Give that keys to somebody else or store it where you cannot get it. And ensure that when you have any change, any excess amount over and above what you did not use, it is put in that piggy bank. I can tell you for a fact, it is a habit if you start doing starting next year, and it can be part of the New Year's resolution. Believe you me, you'll come to thank you, not me, you'll come to thank yourself at the end of the year 2022. So I've said, live within your means. What it means that you are able to cater for your needs first, not wants, needs. What are your needs in school? Are they catered for? So long as your needs are catered for, then we have the ability to start saving. Lesson number 2, make a list of all your income streams and daily expenses. I know sometimes it's not easy because I've done this with adults, and sometimes the kind of feedback that you get is not as rosy as it is. I know as adults, we are running with so many things. There are so many children that we need to take through school. There are those who are in college. There are so many things that are happening around our life. But as young as you are, you can still, actually you have the right opportunity, the right time to start looking at how many income streams do I have? When I talk of income stream is, do you get upkeep money from your mom, your dad, your siblings? That means you have 3 income streams that you get money from. Then what are your daily expenses? From my conversation with the lady that I was just mentioned, the example that I was giving you when I talk to young people about expenditure, is that in her case, she knew that every week, by every Friday, Dad will send me money. Every Friday. So it means that from Monday to Thursday, if she finds herself with money, then she starts misusing, because she knows that Friday will come and definitely Dad will actually send me more money. So there was a time that there was a delay in her dad sending her money. So come Friday, Dad did not send money. So by 3 o'clock that day, she got panicking because she had already spent all she had by the previous day, knowing very well that tomorrow Dad will send me money. Now, those are the extreme that I'll want you as a young person to start looking at, so that when your supplier, your dad or mom or your sibling gets into headwinds with money issues, then you are able to take care of yourself for another 3-4 days without having to start disturbing them with calls and everything else. You must learn to survive. You must start learning to survive without your parents as early as now. You can only do that if you start saving and knowing that there will be days that this money that is coming in today will not be there. If you start getting that into your mind, then you become a better person as an adult, because you are one person who will be able to survive with the kind of salary that you'll get once you start working. And let me tell you for a fact, ladies and gent friends, that the job market is not as rosy as we might think it is. We've had instances where you find yourself, you are looking for a job, and the kind of starting salary that there is lower than what your parents gives you for upkeep. Will you leave the job, or will you want to get experience? That's a question that I pose to you. But if you are disciplined enough and you know that you must live within your budget, live within your means, then it becomes very easy for you. Because for jobs, sometimes you get the jobs because of experience, not because of the money. And let me tell you for a fact, as a young person, once you graduate and get into the labor market, what you require is experience, not the money. And that's where the biggest challenge is. And we find ourselves struggling so much with people keeping jobs. Number 3, group your expenses. What is necessary and what is discretionary? What is necessary must be spent on. You need food, you need transport, you need, a bit of clothing here and there. Those are necessary. But discretionary are things like, once in a week, like there's a lady, young girl who told me, once in a week I must go to KFC. Seriously? And you find yourself spending over 1,000, 2,000 just on one sitting. Those are discretionary expenditure. I'm not saying you should not do it, but I'm just saying the frequency at which sometimes as young people we do it is too much. You find yourself spending too much on discretionary expenditure than even your parents. Why? Lack of discipline. Lack of knowing that this money, if I spend, instead of spending 2,000 on discretionary expenses, I can actually put aside another 1,000 that will grow with 10% when I want it. Those are now the kind of language, the narrative that we want you to have as young people. So that at the end of it all, when we meet in this hard world, the labor market, we are meeting with people who understand where they are coming from and where they are going. People who can plan well for their retirement. They are not eating their retirement now. They know that there will be a time that I'll have to retire and I'll want to be a role model in my community and as a person. Somebody who can be emulated by other people. That's the kind of adults that we want. I mentioned to you at the beginning that we handle pensioners, and your parents, your siblings, your grandfathers could be those pensioners. They keep on making mistakes because money issues were never discussed. They were never open with their money issues. So money mastered them instead of them mastering the money. And now they end up being servants, not money serving them. So you must group your expenses, look at what is necessary so that you are able to know how well and how good to be a better person. Please, discretionary expenses should be reduced to a bare minimum. The same chicken that you want today, it will still be better tomorrow, but the year in, year out, and there'll be better joints than even the one that you know now. So can you be cautious as you spend? Don't overspend on things that you definitely don't. And I said, please find ways to cut down on your discretionary expenses. Don't work with hard mentality. Oh, you have a group. Oh, this time we are going for something where we have those college parties and everything else. So you are in all the parties within the college. It doesn't help you. You just need to have one party in a month or after every quarter, and you are good to go. You can save on a lot. Remember, money is a scarce commodity. And for those of you who will be doing economics, no human being will never have enough. Never. We look for money until we die, and it will never be enough. So there's a level of contentment that we'll need to get to. But that can only get to when we go to the life lesson number 1, where we are able to live within our means and save from the start. Please, as we usher in New Year 2022, as we get into the New Year 2022, depending on the phase of life you are you finishing school, college, or secondary school? We must learn to prepare our monthly budget and make sure that it works and suits you. I've come to realize that us as young people, sometimes we stretch our parents or our guardians for no apparent reason. Somebody tells you they require 5,000, and yet they've not even drawn a budget for that 5,000. But because they'll take advantage of the fact that, you know, Dad, I'm going to college and all that, then it becomes the norm rather than the exception. The key thing is, can we also, after this training, let's learn to engage our parents constructively when it comes to money matters. So that if there's an excess, and I say if there's an excess, remember, even them, they are struggling to ensure that you go to the best college. And remember, I said, what is the exchange? Good grades. Good grades, be it college, be it high school, good grades. That's the exchange. So can you just prepare something that you can work with that suits you? So long as all your necessities, all your needs have been catered for. Any additional amount that you get, young man, young lady, please make sure that is now taken into savings. And I'm going to that very shortly. So guys, I implore upon you, as one of your New Year's resolution, in that we'll be able to work and to live within what is necessary, not on discretionary budget. I know there's peer pressure, you know, where people will start looking at you, oh, you never go to parties. Is it that? No, don't worry about what people say. Worry about what you are doing with your money. Because at the time they'll be crying, you'll be laughing all the way, because you know how to manage whatever you get. These are the same people who, when now they join the job market, they become a nuisance to the employers, because they never learned when they were at that tender stage. Now, they are now getting money, but it is running out within 2 days after getting the salary. We have those cases in employment where people get money after 2 days, it is gone. They cannot even tell how. And the moment you start getting into that cycle, it means you will not be saving enough for your retirement. Then when that time of retirement reaches, it becomes a problem because you are not saving enough. How good it is to start as early as it is now. As early, as young as you are now, money needs to be part of your conversation so that we can all be in good shape. Friends, it is good to tell you that when you are spending your money, you must distinguish between what is important and what is urgent. I know as a young man or a young lady, we want high life. You know, yeah, it is. You know, your friend, you know, has actually changed the wardrobe. Now you want to change your wardrobe. You must ask yourself, with what? Can you do it? Can you stagnate your wardrobe changing rather than go at once? Do you even understand where they got the money? So number one, you must understand exactly, do you really need it? And if you need it, how important it is. And a very good example that I give if you want to distinguish between what is important and urgent. In a situation where you have cash and you're torn on between spending on food and clothing, in that case, which one is more urgent? Definitely, it's food. Then clothing. Yes, it is important, but by that particular moment is not urgent. So first of all, be looking at, is it important and urgent first? Then you can spend on it. Many cases, people go for urgent and important. You only go for urgent things, but not very important. That's now where you choose clothes instead of food. It means your priorities are misplaced. So when somebody tells you your priority is misplaced, it means you are looking at things from totally different perspective. So can we change our perspectives when it comes to money issues so that we can concentrate on what is important and urgent first before we go for urgent and important? So I think, ladies and gentlemen, young friends, have talked a lot. We started with what is money all about. I've come on now budgeting, and we've agreed that going forward and being part of our New Year's resolution will ensure that we budget, and if there's any excess amount, then we now need to put it into savings, and that's the reason why I'm on this slide of savings and investments. So long as you know your cash flow, where it is coming from, how many sources, mom, dad, siblings, then you draw a budget and ask yourself, what out of the three sources, what can I live within? Then the excess amount is now what you need to start sending into savings. And out of those savings, it is not just saving for the sake of it, but saving so that when you go to get the money tomorrow, it has earned some interest on it. The ball is in your court. I said that in our adult life, money has been kept a secret to us. We come only to learn on it when now we are adults, which is not a very good space or a good place to be. Learning about money in adulthood is very bad. You make a lot of very grievous mistakes, which if I could have known now being in your space like today, then I could have been very far off. So count yourself lucky, blessed to have this opportunity basically to be talked to about money issues, because we are looking at guaranteeing your financial security in the very near future. So friends, allow me to talk about the savings life cycle model. There are always 4 life cycle models, but today, and for the benefit of this program, I just want to talk about one. And this is from age 18, where now many of us, or 16, where now you get your ID. In Kenya, you are given an ID the moment you actually reach age 18, because now that's the time you can be a voter, that's the time you can open an account. If you are below 17, below 18, it means that if you open an account, you must open it in the name of your parents, which means that they have control over the savings. So, friends, young men and women, let me say this. At your age, until when now you'll reach around age 50 or even 55, depending, but between 18 up to around 40, up to 50, we must be very, very aggressive. Because what we have, and I repeat, during this age or this phase of savings, what you have the advantage of time. At this tender age, it means you can still make mistakes, and a lot of mistakes, and be able to actually rise out of those mistakes and be the person that you want to be. What does it mean? I want you to be very aggressive in terms of money issues. Don't eat everything, even from the pocket money that you are given, the upkeep that you are given. So long as you draw your budget and you are able to meet your necessities, any single cent that remains, make sure it goes into a savings account. Number two, this is the time to practice what we call delayed gratification. Friends, I have been in your position some many years back. And for real, the concept of delayed gratification works very well. What does it mean? It means that if you have 1,000 now, and instead of spending the whole 1,000 on consumption items, you use 50% to consume, 50% goes into savings. Within a very short time, within a span of 5 years, if you do it consistently, you'll find yourself with a lot of money. So practice delayed gratification. If you're called for a party, ask yourself who is footing the bill. And when you go for the party, go knowing exactly how much you want to spend on that party. Don't go with 2,000. Don't go with 3,000. And you end up spending 4,000 or 5,000. Where is the 2,000 coming from? So delayed gratification, what it means is that you are delaying the good stuff now for a better tomorrow. You are delaying eating your retirement benefits now so that you can retire well. You are delaying consuming all your SACCO savings now so that you can save into a SACCO. And when you are young, your age mates are struggling to even take loans from a SACCO, already you had built a portfolio where you can take a loan and even start your own business. That's what delayed gratification means. It means you can see the future now and you don't steal from the future, but build on the future. At this stage, you need to establish what we call a portfolio. What does it mean? A portfolio means that you have your personal savings, you have your SACCO savings, you already started saving for retirement. As young as you are, yes, don't tell me that I'm young, no. Can you imagine if you're 15 years today and you're supposed to retire at 60? How many years are remaining? Can you remove 60 from 15? How many years are those? Get your answer. 60 minus 15. It means you have 45 years to go. You might think that these 45 years are very far away. They are not. They are not. Because believe you me, another 10 years, you'll be done with your high school and college. So it means you only have 35 years to work. So if you waste these 10 years that you are saying you are still young, then it means you've already wasted your retirement. I hope that is clear. At this stage, we need you to take risks. And remember, when it comes to risk, the advantage that you have currently is your age. Make use of it. It means even if you clear college now, you still have another 2 to 3 years to stay with your parents as you actually look for where to place yourself in terms of employment. What that means is that if your parents can continue with the upkeep, then that upkeep can go a long way in making sure that you open an account with a personal savings account with a bank, a personal retirement account with Octagon. You can open a SACCO account where you can start saving in bits so that you build And remember, SACCOs give you an advantage of taking 3 times of what you've saved as a loan. And you can open your own business. And it is at this stage, friends, that you must make savings a lifestyle. What we mean by this is that any moment, so long as you are drawing a budget, you know your expenditure, you must be asking yourself at the end of the week, how much did I save? Even if it is 10, 5, 20, whatever amount, then it must be your lifestyle. Remember at the beginning, I said that with this program, then you now need to train your brain that things must change. It must change from the brain downwards. You must train your brain to be better at savings. You must train your brain to live within what you can afford, not because of friends or peer pressure. You must train your brain that you need a better life, a better retirement package. How early can you start saving for retirement? Now. So that by the time you are getting into employment, already you have established a portfolio that has run for 10 years. So you are only building on, you are only topping up. You are not starting afresh. You are totally different from a person who waited until they got their first employment. That's now when they started saving. You can see the difference. And that's what we are talking about. And how good it is to talk to you at this particular moment and time of your life. These things, what I'm talking about is not about adults. It is about you. Remember, if you open a SACCO account, it is your account, not your mom's or dad's. It is your account. For instance, let's say you are age 18 today, or you are 15 today. You start saving 500 Kenya shillings. You can convert that into Uganda or Zambia shilling, kwacha. And that 500, you do it consistently, year in, year out, until you finish college. You can do your math and see, by the time you're finishing college, it means you have done like 8 years of consistent savings into a SACCO, or saving into your personal account, or saving into your personal retirement individual account. You will be very far from your colleague who did not engage and did not actually attend this training. By the time they are starting, they cannot catch up with you. You will be far, far, far away. And that's the kind of attitude and the kind of habits that we want you to adopt. So what are those financial tools? Retirement. I've just given you an example. If you're 15 now, you might think by the time you're 60, it is very far away. 45 years is not a long time. 45 years, remove 10, that will be 35. By 35, when you, by 35, let's say you are 25, you get your first employment, you'll want to first of all enjoy the loot, and you'll find yourself wasting like 5 years down the line enjoying the loot. Those are 5 years wasted. So imagine out of 45, you've already wasted 10 plus 5, those are 15. So already what you have is less than 20 years. Or the minus 15, that is, you only have 30 years to save for retirement. 15 years wasted. Those are now the mistakes that we do not want you to go through as we did, as your parents did. Start early, and you'll find that you'll contribute very little amount at affordable rate within your budget without struggling. So the financial tools, there's the retirement, there's the insurance, there's the SACCO. For you now, I'll actually advocate for retirement and SACCO. And also the part of investments, there's what we call the money market funds that we'll be discussing in broad as we go along. I just want to remind you of the economic theory that states that human wants far exceed the resources to satisfy them. And that's why I was telling you, there is no little money. That pocket money that you're despising now, you don't even want even to save a single cent. It might come to haunt you in the very near future. So friends, the ball is in your court. You have the advantage of time. Your parents, your siblings currently do not have that advantage. Take it. Grab it with both hands. Grab it with both hands. Don't delay, because the more you delay, the more you are actually robbing from the future instead of building in that future. If I don't share this, I will not have done a service to you. Please, friends, young man, young lady, we must understand that money speaks only one language. And the money language is, please save me today, I will save you tomorrow. It doesn't matter whether you have little pocket money or not. Remember, I said at the beginning, money is a byproduct of exchange. Your parents are toiling day and night to ensure that they keep you in school, they keep you in class, so that you can actually give them a better grade. And that better grade you build on your profession and career so that you can earn more money for yourself. But out of that, it is your responsibility to ensure that whatever little that you are given, you also save some little so that it can save you tomorrow. I've given you an example of a young man or a young lady who did not see that sense, and they keep on misusing because they knew it was coming until it stopped coming. That's when they realized, I wish I could have actually used my money well. So let this be your language always. I just want to say that you should not deny yourself, but the key thing is don't overdo it. At this age, at your age, many a times, we want to do it and do it more. No, you still have a long way to go. There was a time my mom reminded me that you see all these pleasures that you see now, that you want to do while you are still in school instead of studying hard to get a better grade. You'll still have them in the future. But by that time, I don't think whether we always just think like my parents, they don't want good life for me. No, they've seen it, they've lived it, they've done it. They could have even be worse than you are today. So what they are just trying to tell you is that go, be cautious. Do it, but don't overdo it, because you still have a long way to go. You have advantage of time. Unless otherwise. But that is only God who knows. But the key thing is, this YOLO mentality, you only live once, please drop it. You cannot live once. You will live and live to see your first, second, and third, and fourth generation. What will you tell them when that time comes? You need to tell them good stories. You need to tell them how you are in money matters. You need to tell them how you started saving at the age of 14. And by the time you are hitting 25, you are already a millionaire. While there are people who start to even get few thousands on their 25th birthday. Not inherited, but to be saved. So let us not forget this money language. Save something today, and it will save you tomorrow. This is the language that I always tell your parents today. And they tell me, Anthony, I wish I knew. So we've brought it to you so that you don't tell us 20 years from today, I wish I knew. If that will be your language then it means you actually slept on this class. Quickly, because I can see our time is well utilized. What are the investment options? Or you need to develop some saving culture, and you need to develop some investment skills. And as I said at the beginning, this is one of the first from Octagon Africa. I believe that you are the first cohort that will be engaging more as we go along and as we enroll young people into this program, so that you become responsible citizens of your own country and someone who can stand and be able to tell the stories of money. In investments, there's what we call a bucket system, where you ask yourself, if I'm saving for what? You don't just save for the sake of it. You save with a reason. So, friends, as we adopt a New Year resolution in terms of savings, that out of my pocket money, I'll be saving this much, you must ask yourself, what am I saving it for? And the number one bucket is always your retirement. And I've asked you now, and I'm challenging you, please note, it doesn't matter your age now. I know you are young, and you will be telling me, Anthony, oh, you know, yes, I know you are young. But matters retirement, we must start talking to you about them now. You can engage your parent out of your savings, and you ask them that through us, we can open an account for you for your personal, what we call individual personal plan, savings plan as for retirement. As little as 500 per month, can you imagine? Because I know you squander that amount like nobody's business the moment you are given to you. That's option one. Option two that I want all of us to do, please open a holding account, what we call a personal savings account. This personal savings account is just a holding account so that you don't misuse the money. So any change, any pocket change you have, you push it to your personal savings account. You hold it there for 3 months. After 3 months, you say, what do I want to do with this money? Then you do what you want to do with the money. Whether you want to send it into your retirement wallet, or you want to send it into the SACCO. But for the retirement wallet and the SACCO, this one you can do on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, depending on how you want to look at it. But the personal savings account gives you the habit of starting to put money aside so that you don't see it. Money has this habit that the moment you see it, you'll want to use it. But the moment you don't see it, because you don't see it, you cannot use it. So can we agree that the moment we check out, log out of this program, we must actually purpose to have or open a personal savings account? Number three is a SACCO savings. You know, SACCO, this is so much vast in Zambia and Uganda. You can engage more and see how it works. But let me talk of Kenya's position. Through the SACCO movement, us as your parents and their parents, we've been able to do a lot. A SACCO gives you the leverage. What it means is that if you are able to save, let's say, like 10,000 Kenya shillings into your SACCO account, at the time of need, and let's say you are a budding and a burning entrepreneur, and you've just cleared college and you feel like, you know, it is taking long for you to get employed and you want to start a business, you can easily go to your SACCO. They look at the amount that you have. Let's say I've just mentioned 10,000 Kenya shillings. They give you 3 times or 4 times of that amount so that you can start your business. It means you're using your own resources to start your business without having to go to your parents or siblings or to borrow from a bank. You borrow from your own savings. So take advantage of that. The other bucket, and that basically now applies to a young person like you, is what we call collective investments. If you read through and if you ask fund managers and if you talk to adults, people who know about investment, you'll be taken through what we call the money market fund, high yield, all those kind of investment vehicles. It is another one way of building your portfolio. I was so much pleased with a young man who was in his second year when I was taking them through this kind of program, when we call it the first check. And he told me, actually, his story was that he was able to save on a semester basis. And whenever he saved, one area that he used to actually channel his money is, number one, is retirement. And number two, he had actually opened a unit trust account with one of the insurance companies. And by the time we were meeting, this young man was very, very far ahead. Remember, he came to this program together with his brother, elder brother, who was not even saving a single cent. And when the young man shared his story, I could see the reaction from his brother's face. Friends, ladies, gentlemen, please, you are not too young. Actually, you are old enough to have started talking money language. You are old enough to be very open and having personal savings account. You are old enough to already have opened your own retirement personal account. You are old enough to have a SACCO account. Because the other thing that I want to talk about is also, it is at this age that we can also, you can model, or we model you to start having what we call an emergency fund account. Friends, let me tell you for a fact, as your parents, they are struggling to have an emergency fund. Why? Because currently, the resources they get has a lot of usage. You have yourself, your brother, other brothers going to school, college, and everything else. So having an emergency fund where they can even have, if anything happens to them today, they can even have a source of income for 1 month, not having to work because already they've saved, is a problem. So can you inculcate this culture into you, that going forward, if you are used to pocket money, if you are used to upkeep, let's say you are in college, make sure that you are putting some money aside so that in case your guardian, your parent, get into headwind, you can be able to support yourself for even 2 weeks without having to disturb the whole world that your parents are not actually meeting your day-to-day obligations. And the last saving vehicle or bucket that you need to be thinking about is stocks or securities. What does it mean? If you always listen to news, if you always read newspapers, there are companies that are public that currently you can participate to be a shareholder by buying their shares. And by doing that, you become a shareholder and you start earning dividend as early as today. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that you can graduate to be an investor. Start owning shares. That's what Warren Buffett started doing when he was 8 years old. Until today, he's one of the most respected investors in the world. People want to listen how he started. And I told you, he just started with curiosity at the age of 8. Even me, I could not even think of anything of investments. At age 8, seriously? But it is about curiosity. What will you want to be? And that's why I insist, please look for role models. Start engaging people whom you want to be in the near future. None of you will want to be poor. If you don't want to be poor, then you must do all these things that we are talking about. Because even me, I'll not wish that I start dealing with poor people. Why? We are on this platform because all of us want to be rich. We want quality life. We want better retirement. We want a life that will actually, money will serve us, not us serving money. Because we made the right decisions, and we can now see the fruits of our labor. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not young. You money language. So can we be resolute as we look forward to ushering 2022 and start looking and engaging our brains so that they start thinking, our brain starts learning new ways and habits of doing things, especially when it comes to money. I told you this is a conversation that we must have with ourselves. And you need to give a report to your parents that for real, this has helped me. And this is the direction that I want to take when it comes to money. Help your parents, help you, and help themselves. Because the moment they will see you that you are money savvy, you start talking the best language. Which parent can refuse to listen to you? But if your only language is, please give me, I want, not need, then we start running from you. We'll not give you the tidbits that you'll wish to get. As parents, and the reason why we are doing this as Octagon Africa, because we need a better future with better people. We cannot have a better future with bad people and people who do not understand matters money. So young man, young lady, please, the ball is in your court. You can start with one. By the time you are meeting in December next year, you will have told me, actually, Anthony, I have a personal savings account and already I have this much. Tell me how to invest in unit trust. Tell me how to invest in retirement. Tell me how to invest in stocks. That one will be talking the language. But if we meet after 12 months, there's no personal savings account, there's nothing, then it means there's a problem. But anyway, don't shy away from logging in. But by the time we are logging in next year, I'll wish to see those who've already taken action in all that matters that we discussed. As I close, one thing that I'll want you as a young person not to go into, please avoid betting completely. Riches do not come that very fast. For you to be wealthy and rich, you must work at it. Stop dreaming, work at it. How do you do that? It is just by step. You draw a budget. You know that every month I'm saving 500 Kenya shillings. That is equivalent to how many Uganda shillings times 30? And how many kwacha? You must know your destination and you're saying, I'm saving this much every month. Once you put it into a savings, then it starts earning interest, and before you know it, you are rich. Betting is just a way of lazy people wanting to get rich quickly. You'll never go far. Number two, there has been a lot of talks about cryptocurrencies. And I know probably from your peers, from your group, people are asking you if we can make money easily. There's no money that is made easy. All monies are made with sweat. All monies are made with being patient. All monies are made with being disciplined. All monies are made by being respectful of the money itself. Anyone who will want to usher you into quick riches, the same way you go into that, that's the same way you'll fall. So can we learn to be disciplined? Can we learn the rules of the game? And the rules of the game for money is, number one, you must know where it's coming from. Number two, you must track it through spending plan. And number three, you must save something at the end of it all. And through those savings, then it can help you to invest so that you multiply your wealth. So betting and cryptocurrencies, those are shortcuts for lazy people who will not want to do the hard work. You'll never go far. And that should not be your story. With that, I just want to mention to you one thing, that whatever investment that you are taking, investment decision that you are taking, it has a risk element. What it is, because of the advantage of time that you have, you are still young, you can take the risk. Don't fear taking the risk, because you can still fall down. But what determines how gracefully you become rich is how many times you actually arise and keep on moving. So any investment has a risk. Don't fear the risk. You are still young. You have the advantage of time in your corner, unlike your parents who currently have the disadvantage of time. There is no right or wrong time in investments. Every time is always right, so long as you have the tools, and the major tool is money. I hope I'm clear. So, friends, the ball is in your court. How you play it will determine how far you go or how near you fall. With that, back to you, Elizabeth. I'm ready for questions and answers, any question that could arise. If there's any questions on the chat, we can read through, but that's what I had for these young men and women for today. I believe that have made a difference, and as we log out, as we continue to celebrate during this festive season, we'll be very cautious on how we use the little that we have, so that we start speaking the money language, which only say one thing: save me today, I will save you tomorrow. Back to you, Elizabeth, for any questions. If there is, then we can close.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony. Even as an adult, I've learned so much. If anybody has a question, you can raise your hand and I will enable your microphone, or you can type in your questions in the chat area. Anybody with a question, you can raise your hand. Peter, I've seen that. We already have your emails and we will share the presentation with you. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Mwende says, thank you, Anthony. I learned a lot. Nixon Karaoke says, thank you so much for this forum. Why do you consider cryptocurrency unconventional?
Very good question. Thank you, Nixon. I can see you have an investment mind. The reason why we consider cryptocurrency and conventional investment is because currently they are not regulated. Remember, doesn't matter your age, so long as you have the resources, which is called money. If you have to invest in areas that are regulated. Cryptocurrency currently are not regulated. It means if you put in your money and it disappears, you cannot go to the regulators who are central bank and any other regulator to be able to get your money back. If you are aware that if any bank collapses today, then there is the Kenya Insurance Depository institution that basically ensures that at least people get their money back, and central bank will ensure that they work so hard to get your money, at least part of your money. So the reason why cryptocurrency are unconventional, they are currently not regulated, and it means it is a pata potea kind of investment. So you are taking high risk. Although there could be high return depending on which platform you take, the blockchain, but it is something that I'll not advise people to go in unknowingly. You must go conscious, knowing very well that it can actually do well.
We have more questions. Joyce Muya asks, what kind of a business can you start with 5,000 shillings?
Wow, there are so many businesses. Remember that number one, if you want to be an entrepreneur and in business, you must know which is your area. Currently, ideas are selling even much better than even the capital amount. And if you look at, let's say, like the beauty industry, so long as you have your acts together, those are areas that you can start with very low capital. If you look at the, let's say, like the supply chain in terms of food, those are the kind of businesses that you can start with very low capital. So the key thing is, number one, as an individual, what are you looking at? What is your best area? What are you good at? So that once you put your act together, then you can be able to start with the lowest capital that you can. So it is not about capital. And I can tell you for a fact on this platform that, believe you me, I started my first business before I even joined college. I started with less than 2,000 Kenya shillings. So it's possible. So the key thing is, which is your best area? What do you think you can do better in yourself so that you can, do you have the right idea and you're in business?
Thank you, Anthony. Mwende asks, which circle can you advise an 18-year-old to join?
Thank you for that question. Currently, there are so many circles. So circles have actually opened up to the public. There's Uniters Circle. There are those circles that are within the churches that we go to. So, number one thing that you need to understand, before you join a circle, ensure that at least you have a friend or a group of friends within that circle, so that when now you join, remember the circle business or the circle principle is always that you guarantee each other. So what it means is that the time you require a loan, you'll want your friend to guarantee you, and you can guarantee them. So many circles in Kenya, I'm talking about Kenya, are currently open to the public. So it is you just to join one, either through your church or Uniters or whichever. You can talk, you can actually walk and see all these circles that you know, and just walk in and get to know what are their products, what do they do, what is the joining fee, and what is the monthly deposit that you need to be depositing every month for that circle. Once you do that, then do you have people who can guarantee you if you require a loan? That's what you need, and you are up, and you'll be a circle member and a shareholder.
Okay, Baruch, I've enabled your microphone. You can unmute yourself.
I wanted to ask, what is the best way to save? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Baruch. Anthony, have you had the question? He's asking, what's the best way to save?
To save.
Yes.
Baruch, the best way to save is to start doing it. It is a habit that has developed. And if you are with me throughout the program, I mentioned that, number one, you can, if you've not attained the age that you can open a savings account, a personal savings account with a bank, then you can buy a piggy bank, somewhere you can be putting aside the monies that you feel you don't have to use. Number two, if you can, or you are in good books with your parents, then you can ask them to open for you an account with either Octagon to start saving for your retirement, because that one you can also treat it as a savings plan. So they can open an account in their name and you start saving through that account. And the moment you reach the majority age, then you take over the running of that account. And the other way is that if you have an M-Pesa line through the M-Shwari, there's a way that you can always open a savings account within your M-Shwari account, so that you can be pushing an amount that you don't need into an M-Shwari account, and it earns interest. So savings, it is a habit that as a young person, as a young man or a woman, we must develop over time. The moment you start doing it, then it becomes a behavior. And once it becomes a behavior, then it becomes your character. Then you'll find yourself actually savings and saving. So it is a habit that we must inculcate and start doing it now.
Boniface asks, pension fund is a very good one. Do you access your funds as a lump sum?
Yes. For a personal savings account, you can access your benefit as a lump sum. Remember that there are so many options. Let me just repeat. For a personal savings account in a pension plan, then the moment you need that money, you can access it as lump sum. But the moment an employer, or if by the time you are leaving, you don't want it as a lump sum, then you'll be advised on how you can access it as part pension, as part lump sum. But if you're saving on your own, then you can access it as a lump sum. Yes, it is.
Chris Kampamba says, thank you, a lot of wisdom in the presentation. Also, Irene Domo says, Mr. Anthony, thanks a lot. Very crucial subject. Will adhere to your wise advice. Baruch also, yes, Baruch asked that. You've already answered Baruch. Nixon says, thank you so much. Abdi says, thank you so much, dear team. May you continue such trainings in future because they are helpful. We will continue, Abdi, every holiday season. Once you guys close school, we will be having a session like this. Agenga says, would you group cryptocurrencies together with forex market trading, and why? I will repeat. Sorry.
Yes, I'll group them. Yeah, I'll group them with crypto, with foreign currency trading, because currently, if you look, let's speak that is coming from Kenya. There are only 2 firms currently that I know that have been licensed to do foreign currency trading. The rest of the firms are doing it and they're not regulated. What that means is that if anything happens to your money, then you cannot go to CMA, that is Capital Markets Authority, to report what has happened. So you might end up losing the money. So what I'm just simply saying is that as much as we have appetite for investment, the key thing is you'll also, as an investor, you'll not wish to lose any cash that you've actually toiled very hard to save. Remember, you've taken this money from your pocket. You've actually delayed your gratification, not by spending. Then you take it to someone whom, when they lose the money, you cannot actually track them. So what I'm just urging all of us is that, yes, you have the appetite to save. However, also have the appetite not to lose any single cent. Make sure you are just dealing with the conventional, regulated investment vehicles that are within your country of origin and jurisdiction.
Lydia Kalembe says, thank you so much. Sorry? Oh, okay. Lydia Kalembe says, thank you so much. I have enjoyed and learned a lot. Chulwe Mwemba asked the same question as Baruch. I think you've answered that. Nixon Karaoke says, for a campus student, what do you think? What is the kind of business that would pick?
Nixon, I think, as I mentioned earlier, it depends on what are your areas of interest. I've seen campus students currently doing, let's say, like the Mutumba business, where you can actually look at the kind of friends that you have. If there are those people who do not want to cross the roads past Tomboya, not wanting to cross the road, is that, have you identified what their problem is? If it is clothing, can you get someone who can supply it for you and you supply it to them at a margin? Matters of shoes, things like sneakers and everything else. There's so many aspects. The key thing is, what is your interest? Being in business in campus, the key thing is, are you capable? What solution are you offering to the problems that your fellow students are going through? Once you identify that, Nixon, then you're in business. So you can do anything and everything, so long as you are actually solving someone else's problem. You are in business. Elizabeth?
Awesome. Abdu says, thank you so much, sir, for the program. Okongo asks, please explain what cryptocurrency is to a 16-year-old.
Okongo, cryptocurrency, these are blockchains. We are living in a digital world. And what cryptocurrency means to a 16-year-old chap is that at the moment, if you need anything, your mom or dad gives you money, either Kenya shillings, USD, or the Kwacha, or Uganda shillings. Now, what cryptocurrency or blockchain is trying to do is that instead of you being given money, then you have options. So you have Kenya shillings, you have that Bitcoin, you have, those are just separate wallets of medium of exchange. So in a nutshell, what that means that cryptocurrency is trying to ensure that we have so many options in terms of wallets, money wallets, so that you can have it in Kenya shillings, USD, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is part of the cryptocurrency. And why it is cryptocurrency? This is a blockchain where it is managed through digital platforms where you don't see the people that you are transacting with. You only transact with machines, and before you know it, you have the money. So in simplest language, it is an option. It is a medium of exchange that currently it is not regulated like the way you know about Kenya shillings, but it is coming in digital way where you can actually use the digital platform to pay for the services you require. I hope that explains it in the simplest way I could want it to be.
Gabriel Ndegeri says Google is a good friend. Look for circles that are in line with your skills, e.g. accounts, valuators. Na says, I believe that is in line with the circle question that was asked before.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
There was someone who had raised their hand. Let me see, who was that? You can raise it again and I will enable your microphone. Before they do that, we can continue with that. What is the best way to save? Again, we have answered that. Thank you so much for the presentation. Great wisdom indeed. I have really learned a lot for a high school student. How much can one start saving? This is from Daisy.
Daisy, as little as 50 shillings per day or per week or per term. It depends on how much you are given as pocket money. So the trick to it is just learn that once you have your budget, let's say you've been given a pocket money worth 1,000 shillings. And by the end of the term, you must always, and as your principal as a high school student, you must always ensure that this 1,000, you don't use it all for those goody things. Whatever you leave behind is what you start saving. The moment you start doing that, then you'll find yourself just saving and saving and saving and saving more. So it doesn't matter. The key thing is you must always be willing to save something as little as you can. But don't deprive yourself. I can see Nixon was raising his hand.
Yes, Nixon, I have unmuted you. You can unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you for this chance. My question was, is buying shares and stocks the right direction to take in terms of risks, taking risks?
Perfect, Nixon. I can see you have an investor mind completely. By the way, number one, if you've been thinking that direction, go for it. The key thing is you just need to identify who are your stockbrokers. Once you identify your stockbroker, then you sit with them and you start looking at which stocks currently are performing. The younger you are now, the better, because you have the advantage of time. So stocks is one of the best way to start investing, as low as 1,000 even a month. Bonds is another very good way, although bonds will need at least 50,000 and above. But if you are able to raise that kind of amount, so be it. But for bonds, for you to deal directly with central bank, it means that you need to go to central bank and open an account with them so that you have the CDC account, CDSC account. Then now you start trading. So I agree, Nixon. Stocks could be the best way, the best bet now. With as little as 1,000 every month, you can start be putting aside so that you buy the right stock, which will appreciate with good time. With that, I concur. Please, if you can do it, please continue doing it.
Zaid had also asked a question relating to that. He had asked, what is your take on Treasury Bonds investment, and what is your advice to someone of our age group in the aspect of saving and investments?
Just to reiterate, the thing is, remember, I said that saving or money matters, it is a habit that we must start formulating, not now. It should have started as early as 8 years old. But because we are here, this is the platform that we have. Let's make it a habit going forward. And if there's anything that can happen to us, we must make this a New Year resolution that we want to be better than you want to be better than yourself when you are in 2021 and 2020. Now that you've learned, I want you to start practicing. So those investment vehicles of stocks, as I said, and as I have answered Nixon, you have the advantage of time. What it means is that if you buy a stock now, let's say like 10 shillings, by the time you are in your 25, that stock will have actually appreciated to around 30 or even if it depreciates now from 10 shillings to 8 shillings, then you still have time to recover. On the bonds, those are currently given by the government. The key thing is you just need to know, do you have a central bank account? How do you actually work yourself to ensure that you get the minimum amount that is required by the government to be able to invest in it? Elizabeth?
Yes, Kisini, you've sent us your email. We'll be sure to send you the template. Gabriel Ndengeri says, business starts with a need, needs. Are you desirous to meet the need? I think he's reiterating what you had just said. Nixon, again, buying shares and stocks. I think you've answered that. Mwende, the same question on treasury bonds on investment. You've answered that. Baruch says, thanks for the lesson. I've learned a lot, even though I'm just 13 years. That's awesome. So this has been very, very insightful, Anthony. We have truly learned a lot. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge. I'm sure all of us will not live here the same way we came in. We are now more wiser and financially literate, I must say that. In case anybody else has a question, you can raise your hand before we close. Okay, I think everybody is satisfied. Again, Anthony, thank you so much. Oh, Mwende, which stocks do you advise in buying?
Now, I can see there's a question. Let me answer Mwende, and also let me answer Okonjeti, who said explain the difference between bonds, stocks, and treasury bonds. Now, the difference is bonds and treasury bonds, these are issued by the government. Treasury bonds or treasury bills, for this matter, these are short-term investment papers. When we talk about treasury bills, these are instruments that the government require between 3 months, 6 months, and a year to be able to generate income so that they can meet their monthly or yearly obligation. These are very short term, and that's why they are called bills or treasury bills. They are short term. When you talk of treasury bonds, they are medium to long term. They run from over 1 year up to 5 years. Those are called treasury bonds. Now, when we talk of other bonds like now the infrastructure bond, they are long term. These are instruments that the government issue that last from over 5 years up to 10, up to 15, and even 20 years. The advantage of treasury bonds or the infrastructure bond is that they are long-term and they attract a higher interest rate because you are giving government your money and it will stay with that money for over 20 years. So it means it must give you a higher return. For treasury bills, these are short-term, so it means they don't attract a very big or a large interest rate. They range between 6 and 7% per annum. For treasury, for infrastructure bond, you can be given an interest of from 10, 11, 12, or even 13%, depending on the kind of infrastructure. Stocks are the same as securities. Those are shares of companies that are currently trading in the Nairobi Security Exchange. For example, if you go to Nairobi Security Exchange, there will be Safaricom share, there will be Kengen share, there will be KPLC share, there will be Kenya Airways share, there will be Uchumi share. Now, those are stocks. In simple terms, those are, you are buying into shares of a company. So that's the difference. So I've said treasury bills are short term, between 3 to 1 year. Treasury bonds are medium term. They run from 1 year to 5 years. Then now there is the infrastructure bond, which are very long term, and they attract higher interest rates. I believe that answers basically what Okonji had mentioned, and also which stocks do you advise? Now, when the key thing is, before you buy a stock, just make sure that you speak with your stockbroker. Because currently, if I give you an example like Safaricom, I participated in the buying of Safaricom shares. That is what they call the IPO, initial public public offer. By that time, that was in 2008, the share was going at 5 shillings when they were being offered to the public. However, after being offered to the public, the shares started going down, and the last price that the shares were going at for Safaricom was around 2 shillings and 50 cents. But from there, as we speak today, Safaricom share is worth around 40 shillings or 42 shillings, depending on when the market closed. So the kind of share that you want to buy, it depends on what are you looking at. If you buy a share, you must be looking at capital appreciation. What we mean by capital appreciation is that you buy a share at 5 shillings. Let's say when I bought it at 5 shillings. Today, if I want to sell it, I sell it at 41. It means you just remove the 41 from 5 shillings and you factor in inflation. The difference is capital appreciation. Or you want to buy shares from companies that are paying dividend. So speak to your stockbroker so that you understand exactly what you are looking at and what are the good counters. When we say of good counters, you know, there's the manufacturing, there's the telecom, like now Safaricom, there's the banking sector where you have the Standard Chartered of this world, you have the Absa Bank, you have KCB, you have the NCBA. So when the key thing, do your homework so that you get to know what exactly you are looking at, and definitely you'll be in the game. Elizabeth?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony. And thank you, everyone, for joining the meeting today. I know there are many things you would have done this morning, but you decided to quench your thirst for knowledge. And I believe that is what is going to make an impact in your future. I'm so happy to see we have 13-year-olds like Baruch, 18-year-olds. I'm so happy. And it seems like you guys are focused and you know what you're going for. And I wish you all the best. I know that we don't have any other questions now, so I'll just ask Anthony to give us your final words before we close.
Good. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for facilitating and moderating this. And for all our young, responsible clients, thank you for actually logging in. As I said, I know it is still the festive season, but you actually said that instead of being out and about with friends, you came in to basically quench your knowledge in terms of financial literacy. And as I started and saying that, you know, through financial literacy, it means that you make informed decisions and you'll be very conscious with how you manage your money. My final thoughts will be, you know, at the end of the day, as Octagon Africa, we'll not want you to be having excuses when it comes to matters saving for your retirement, saving for stocks, savings for bonds, and everything else. And there will be no explanations because already explanations have been given to you. And by the end of it all, you'll not regret. And that's why we are here, so that that knowledge gap, you become financially savvy and already you know exactly what you want. Lastly, is just to ensure that, please, you know, saving is a habit. Saving is intentional. Money matters requires somebody who has intention to do good things. You want to change your life for the better. The only thing that will be able to know that you are different from others if you start dropping those bad habits so that you can actually start doing the good things that you do. So just remember, we don't want excuses. Already you've been given explanations. And at the end of it all, we don't want regrets. Because already now you know what I'm asking all of us. Money doesn't know your age. Money only knows what you can do with it. Remember, money is a tool, not an end in itself, but an end to what basically you determine to get. So thank you so much. All the best as we look forward to crossing over to 2022. You will be a better person. And as we said, as Octagon Africa, we'll be doing this. We are the first, and we'll continue doing this. And as we meet again, for those who will be able to log in next year, you'll be able to tell us the story, what you've done so far. Open a personal savings account so that you don't waste any cash, any change that you have, and you'll be a better person. It is a habit. Let it be a behavior and translate it into your character. Have a blessed day. Happy New Year. Blessed 2022. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Yes, Zaid is asking if he can get your contact. I don't know if it's possible to share your email address.
Yes. You can share my email address.
I will share it on the comment section. Most of you are asking for the presentation notes. You can drop in your emails on the comment section before we leave, and we are going to keep in touch with you. So just drop your emails on the comment section before you leave the meeting. But I will wish you a lovely day, lovely rest of the day right now. You can leave at your pleasure. Once again, thank you so much. So just type in your email address. I will type in Anthony's email address also, and you can reach out to him. Thank you so much, Anthony.
God bless you all.
God bless you too. Anthony's email is anthony.odhiambo@octagonafrica.com. I've put it in the comment section. Keep sending me your email addresses. If you send it, you can leave at your own time.